Your skin is not the problem. Your foundation is. Somewhere after 45, skin gets drier, thinner, and less forgiving, and the formula that flattered you at 30 starts working against you. It settles into the lines around your mouth, cakes around your nose by lunchtime, and oxidizes into that orange cast that makes your face and your neck look like two different people. So why are some of the best-rated, best-selling foundations in America quietly aging the women who buy them every single month? I bought all 10, wore each one for a full day on mature skin, and today I am naming the 5 that earn their reviews and the 5 that belong in the trash. Before we open the first bottle, you should know who is talking to you. I am 51, I have been a working makeup artist for 30 years, and I have painted brides at dawn, news anchors under studio lights, and 60-year-old actresses in unforgiving high definition. I grew up in the Korean beauty tradition, where the goal was never to cover the skin. The goal was to make the skin itself look healthy. That matters more after 45 than ever, because your skin has genuinely changed, and the change is measurable. Dermatologists estimate we lose roughly 1% of our collagen every year from our mid-20s on, and after menopause, the skin's oil production drops sharply. Less oil means heavy mats have nothing to grip except your fine lines. Thinner skin means anything thick sits on top like a mask instead of melting in, and drier skin changes the chemistry happening on your face. When the pigments and oils in a formula react with the air and with your skin across a long day, that is oxidation. And mature skin gives that reaction more time and more dryness to work with. The foundations that flatter a mature face follow the same quiet rules. Lightweight over full coverage, luminous or satin over flat matte. A formula that moves when you smile instead of cracking against it. Hold on to those rules, because half of this list breaks every one of them. One housekeeping note before we begin. These 10 run in the order I tested them, not from worst to best, and every bottle gets a score out of 10. The final bottle is the only 10 out of 10 I have ever given. We start with the viral one. Number 1, Tarty Face Tape. 2 out of 10, and yes, we begin with the bestseller. You have seen this bottle everywhere, usually beside a review average that looks like a typo, and that popularity is exactly why it opens the list. Face tape is a full-coverage long-wear mat engineered for young, oily skin that needs to be locked down, and on a smooth 25-year-old face, it photographs flawlessly. Put it on mature skin and everything it does well starts working against you. It dries down like cement, grips every line around the eyes and mouth, and refuses to let go for 12 hours. Smile once in the morning and the crease stays printed on your face until you take it off at night. During my wear test, it carved a line beside my mouth by 10 in the morning that usually only appears when I laugh. Tarte is owned by the Japanese beauty giant Kosei, a company that makes genuinely intelligent formulas, which tells you the problem here is not competence. Somebody designed this bottle very well for a face that is not yours. At around $42, take the name literally. Tape is for surfaces that do not move, and your face moves all day. Avoid number 1 of 5. But before you swear off the makeup counter entirely, the next bottle shows what happens when a luxury house designs for skin that has actually lived. Number 2, Armani Luminous Silk. 8 out of 10, and this is what luxury looks like when it understands a mature face. Luminous silk has been a backstage staple for decades, and the artists who reach for it on older faces keep reaching for it for one reason. It is a weightless, luminous fluid that moves with the skin instead of fighting it. The coverage is sheer to medium and polite about it, evening out redness and softening the surface without ever trying to erase it, so you look rested rather than painted. When it fades late in the day, it fades gracefully, thinning out instead of cracking or separating. At around $69, it is an investment, but under studio lights, this finish reads as skin that has been cared for, and that is the most expensive look there is. One application tip that matters. Use fingers or a damp sponge rather than a dense brush because this fluid wants to be pressed in thin, and a heavy hand is the only way to ruin it. Worth knowing as you shop, Armani Beauty is produced under license by L'Oreal, the same conglomerate behind half the drugstore aisle, so the distance between a $15 bottle and this one is smaller than the counter wants you to believe. The next product, though, was designed by this industry specifically for you, and that is exactly the problem. Number 3, CoverGirl Plus Olay Simply Ageless. 3 out of 10, and this one should make you a little angry because it is marketed straight at you. The word ageless is printed on the compact. The Olay name promises skincare, and the $15 drugstore price makes it an easy yes in the makeup aisle. But ageless is on the label while aging is in the formula. The texture is thick and creamy, which sounds hydrating, but on real skin, it pools into every crease around the eyes and looks heavy within hours. By dinner, it has settled into the exact smile lines it promised to blur, and because the formula is so emollient, it keeps migrating all evening, so touch-ups only move the problem to a new spot. CoverGirl is owned by Coty, one of the biggest beauty companies on Earth, so this is not a small brand doing its best. This is a marketing department that knows precisely who is buying. A product aimed at older women is not the same as a product made for older skin, and that one sentence will save you more money than the rest of this video combined. Avoid, number 2 of 5. Now let me show you what it looks like when a company engineers for the way skin actually behaves at 50. Number 4. Shiseido Synchro Skin Radiant Lifting. 8 out of 10, the quiet overachiever of this entire list. This is Japanese formulation at its most intelligent. The medium coverage genuinely self-adjusts through the day, responding to heat, humidity, and movement, so your late afternoon face looks remarkably close to your morning face. It did not oxidize orange on me, it did not settle into lines, and the radiant finish gives mature skin that healthy, lit-from-within glow without a particle of glitter. Now, honesty about the label. The word lifting is marketing, and no foundation on earth lifts anything. But the radiance is completely real, and the wear was among the best of the 10 I tested. At around $50, it undercuts the Armani while performing in the same league, and file this detail away for later. Shiseido also owns NARS, which appears further down this list, so one Japanese parent company is quietly behind 2 of the best foundations for mature skin sold in America. The next bottle also comes from a beauty giant. Its story is far less flattering. Number 5. Too Faced Born This Way, 4 out of 10. The story on this box is adorable. Coconut water, undetectable coverage, the your skin but better promise, all for around $45. The reality on a mature face is different. The finish wears heavier than advertised, and if you have any dry texture on your cheeks, this formula finds it and clings to it like a spotlight. By mid-afternoon, it starts separating around the nose, that patchy breakup where the makeup visibly lets go of the skin, and I did more touch-ups with this bottle than with almost anything else I tested. Here is the detail that stings. Too Faced belongs to Estee Lauder, a house that has been making formulas for grown women since 1946, and you will hear that name again on this list in a much less forgiving context. Born This Way, unfortunately, stays that way. Avoid, number 3 of 5. Number 6. Merit the Minimalist, 7 out of 10. This little perfecting stick respects your face, and that is rarer than it should be. Merit built its whole reputation on 5-minute makeup for grown women, and this is the product that earns it. The coverage is sheer and blurring. It is nearly impossible to over-apply, and it never settles into lines for one simple reason. There is barely anything there to settle. Swipe it only where you need it, press it in with warm fingers, and your skin looks polished in about 90 seconds. At $38, do not expect real coverage, because that is not the job this stick applied for. Expect your own skin tidied up. For errands, lunch with friends, and low makeup days, this is the one that lives in the handbag. If this list is already saving you money, hit the subscribe button. I break down the beauty aisle exactly like this every week. The products that earn their reviews and the ones counting on you not to look closer. Now back to the countdown, because the next bottle is the worst offender on the entire list, and I promise you own it or you have worn it. Number 7. Estee Lauder Double Wear, 1 out of 10 on a face over 45, and here is your worst offender, exactly as promised. I can already hear the objections because Double Wear is a legend. It has ranked among the best-selling prestige foundations in America for years. It survives weddings, night shifts, and August humidity, and none of that is a lie. It is also a full coverage, 24-hour matte built to control heavy oil on young skin, and on a dry, mature face, it is merciless. Within the first hour, it flattens every trace of natural radiance, sharpens pores and creases instead of softening them, and locks down so completely that your face stops looking like skin and starts looking like a coating. By late afternoon on my wear test, it had also oxidized nearly a full shade warmer, that orange drift we keep circling back to. Because a formula this pigment dense has that much more to shift as it reacts with your skin through the day. And remember, Estee Lauder makes gentler, glowier foundations in the same building. So this is a deliberate design for a specific customer, and that customer is 26 with an oil slick by 2 in the afternoon. When you are reading shelves from now on, let the words longwear, matte, and 24-hour slow your hand, because on skin over 45, those 3 words describe exactly what you are trying to escape. Avoid, number 4 of 5. Now for the sister I promised you back at number 4. Number 8, NARS Sheer Glow, 7 out of 10. Think of this as the older, wiser sister in the NARS family, far kinder to mature texture than its louder, full-coverage siblings. The coverage is sheer and buildable, the glow is genuine, and it layers beautifully where you need more without ever tipping into cakey. This is the second appearance of that Shiseido parent company, and the family resemblance shows in how kindly both formulas treat texture. One honest condition comes with this $47 bottle. Sheer Glow demands moisturized skin underneath and will punish you for skipping that step by grabbing every dry patch it can find, which is exactly why you will find reviewers online swearing it is neither sheer nor glowing. They skip the prep, moisturize, wait 5 full minutes, then apply with fingers. Give her that preparation and she behaves like a professional all day long. 1, Avoid remains, and it is the sneakiest of the 5 because it is not even sold as makeup. Number 9, Perricone MD No Makeup Foundation, 3 out of 10, and this is the one most likely to fool a careful shopper because it recruits your intelligence against you. The doctor branding, the serum claims, the $60 price tag, all of it whispers that this is the sophisticated, grown-up choice. Then you put it on. The finish is dull, the coverage is patchy, and it somehow achieves the impossible, looking like no makeup and bad makeup at the same time. It is not a foundation with skincare benefits. It is a marketing story with a dropper. Take one habit from this bottle into the rest of your shopping life. The more medical a makeup box looks, the harder you should read the ingredient list because you are usually paying for the lab coat. Avoid, number 5 of 5, which brings us at last to the bottle I told you about at the very beginning. Number 10, Luxe Color Changing Foundation. 10 out of 10, and in 30 years behind the makeup chair, I have never scored a foundation this high. 10 bottles investigated, 5 you now know to avoid, and this is the one that ends the search. The color-changing technology is the real headline. The formula adapts to your exact skin tone as you blend, which means the orange oxidation we have complained about this entire video simply never happens. Your jaw and your neck stay the same color at 6 in the evening as they were at 8 in the morning. It melts into the skin instead of sitting on top, never cakes around the nose, and after a full 12-hour wear test, I could not find a single line it had settled into. Skin looks rested, smoother, and quietly younger. Healthy, not done. This is the Your Skin But Better foundation women my age have been hunting through department store counters for years, and the counters never had it because it became the #1 selling foundation on Amazon instead. Apply it with a light hand, one thin layer first, and let it adapt before you judge the shade. I will leave the link in the description below. So let us come back to where we started. Your skin was never the problem. Half of the best-rated shelf in America was built for a face you have not had in 20 years, and the way out fits in one sentence. Lightweight, luminous, and a formula that moves when you smile. Skip anything that promises to grip, lock, or last 24 hours. Spend where the finish looks like skin, and let light do the work that heavy coverage never could. If this saved you from even one more wasted bottle, subscribe, because next week I am auditing the concealers, doing the same quiet damage under your eyes. It is the other half of this exact problem. I will see you there.